Welcome to
Lion
and Blithe. Well, here we are again, guys, and I've got my glasses on. Why have I got my glasses on?
You never wear your glasses.
I know.
Especially when you do this.
I know. I'm so excited today, though, Aaron. I am so excited today.
I've been waiting for this one for a good couple of weeks now, so...
So, people, I have got one of my oldest friends on here. Well, he's not old, but I've got one of my oldest friends on here. The infamous, internationally renowned rock photographer. That's it. Nick Elliott.
Hi, Andy.
Fantastic to see you, Nick.
Lovely. Thank you ever so much for inviting us on, guys.
Oh, it's a pleasure, mate. It's such a pleasure. You know what, before we start, I'm going to shake your hand. It's good to have you on here, mate.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, really looking forward to it.
You.
Yeah, you too. So
Should be a good night.
Definitely.
So, Nick,
Andy.
you are an absolute legend in the rock photography world, aren't you?
It has been said, yeah.
Who's it been said by?
Quite a few people.
Quite a few.
Well, I've heard it.
Go on then. Just, let's just do it. Let's just drop a few names in there. Let's go for it.
Quite a lot of bands. Dear Idea, Earl Slick, Darkness, ZZ Top, Metallica. The list goes on.
Wow, Metallica. Just that name alone is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Massive deal. It's Metallica. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, there's loads, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, to be honest, where people always ask you that kind of question, and I really have to think about it, and I struggle to think, well, who is it?
Just put you on the spot, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'm not one for kind of doing that much.
Okay.
I won't turn around and blow trumpets. And
Yeah. Well, I'm going to blow your trumpet right now because I checked out your.
You what?
Hey,
You're going to blow his trumpet?
let's not go into this sort of conversation again. He always likes to bring this stuff up.
Orchestral conversation.
Orchestra Manoeuvres in the Dark is going to happen tonight, is it?
It is rather
Aaron
than
and Nick Elliott.
Yeah,
Orchestra
but I'll
Manoeuvres
tell
in
you
the
what,
Dark.
mate. I was literally looking at your portfolio
Yeah.
online on Facebook and
Yeah.
all social media and everything, and I was just like looking up all the bands you've worked with, and you know what I mean, like Def Leppard.
Yeah, Joe. I caught one of the worst colds I ever had off Joe Elliott.
Oh, did you really? That's an honour, though, isn't it? Surely.
Was he ill? And then 2 weeks later, I was seriously ill.
Well, if you've got to catch a cold, then who better get it off than Def
that's how I
Leppard?
looked at it.
Yeah, too right. Yeah,
Well, he
I'll take
tipped
that.
up. It was because I was official photographer for Planet Rock for about 10 years, and they kind of did this. So they still do it actually. Rockstock, which they always hold in Wales in December. And it's a great gig. And this particular year, they'd booked the Down and Outs, which is essentially Joe's kind of sideline. And he gets together a load of good people. Sometimes he and Hunter tips up, you know, because it's a bit of a joint collaboration that they've got. And he got to the venue and he was really caked up with coats and scarves and all this shit. And he came in and we said hello and had a bit of a chat, and he was really ill, you know. So we spent a bit of time together, and I caught this fucking dog shit cold off him, man. It was terrible, man. It really was. It was big boy's cold.
So if he ever gets to see this, you better be sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was amazing because when he actually came to do the set and do the show, you never know. But he was seriously ill, and I just forget what year it was. I can't remember what year it was, but it was this particular year. There was a lot of really heavy colds and flus and all that kind of shit going around, you know. And a lot of the guys were coming down with it. But yeah, that's a bit of a story. I quite like that.
Yeah,
I quite like that,
mate. I'd love to meet Def Leppard. I love them. I love Def. You know, I've had their albums and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ozzy Osbourne. He's another one you work with, right?
Yeah, Ozzy. Yeah, crazy as you'd expect it to be. Ozfest 2001, I think it was. Was it 2001? I think it was 2001.
So when you work with these sort of like big massive rock stars and this, and obviously you spend some quality time with them.
So sometimes you do.
Yeah,
Not all the time.
yeah.
It depends what you're doing.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, if it's editorial or if it's promo stuff, you know, tour stuff, live stuff, whatever it is, it dictates really how much time you spend with these people.
Right, and
you know.
What was that? That was the camera
Come
gone,
down.
wasn't it? Let me go put the camera back on.
Go and put the camera back on. So, yeah, I mean, wow. And some of your photography that I'm aware of, you've used actually for like certain album covers and things like that.
It covers a lot of editorial, a lot of promo stuff. It's a really big gig that I do. It's for me, it's not about photography. Photography is purely the medium I use to create the art that I create.
Wow.
I don't look on myself as a photographer. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I've always been that.
Wow.
And the cameras are purely the tools to do the job. I do a lot of fine art. I have my own publishing company that looks after all my books, all my fine art. I sell the fine art across the world. It's collected very, very much, from literally the four corners of the earth, really. Australia, America, a lot of Europe, all over the place. And I also have my own apparel range, which is a bespoke design apparel range by me that you can get on the shop. It's a really big thing that I do. It
awesome.
is. It's not just a matter of taking pictures. They are bespoke one-off pieces of art. That's what they are.
I mean, some of your artwork when I looked yesterday, like with the cars, the American cars you've took photos of.
That's a new thing that I'm doing. Yeah.
Is that new, is it?
Yeah, it's very new actually. It's something that I've done this year. I call it the American Classic Collection.
Right.
I'm just very much I'm a very retro kind of guy, to be honest, Aaron.
Yeah.
I look back to very fond memories of growing up, my youth, which is where all this started. When I was an 8-year-old boy, that's where it started.
Wow.
It goes back to me and my dad, going down the little horse field, we used to call it, where they kept the horses in Peterborough. And we'd have a walk down there and we'd do some shots and then come back. I mean, they're all fucking rubbish, but yeah, my dad was a good little happy hobbyist, and photography at 51, that's what I call my home, kind of where I grew up, 51. We always called it 51, and their photography was a big deal with the Elliott family. It was a big deal, and my dad took a lot of pictures, and there was two big gigs of our year, which was Christmas and the fortnight's holiday that we had every year, which most of that was spent on the Norfolk coast, which is why I come to want to live here, I think.
Awesome.
But and Dad would document everything from the night of packing your little suitcase to getting on the train and that, before we had a car and all this stuff, and he would document the whole lot, and he photographed my mum an awful lot. He was very, very into doing that kind of thing. He wanted to document the growth of his family and the time that we were all as a family.
And what a success you've had.
Well, at that time it was obviously, I was just a little boy, at that time. But Dad still, even to the kind of time when I left home, first marriage, he was always taking pictures. Dad took a lot of pictures. He had one of the first Polaroids that Polaroid did, the Land Camera 210, which I've now got because I've got quite an extensive museum at home with all the cameras that my dad had and all the cameras that were in my family and all the cameras that I've used.
So you've got the first Polaroid that ever came out.
It's one of the very early instance that they did.
Wow.
It was what they called the Polaroid Land Camera 210, and it was the first RIP camera that they did. And it was the first one that had really got any kind of quality with it, and also you got a bellow lens on it, which again, it wasn't a fixed lens.
Right.
Forgive me for going too technical.
No, fill me in.
Nonsense,
No, you're fine, Nick. You're fine.
But yeah.
He's been a twat. You'll get used to that.
Social, but no class.
It's been quite nice while he's kept his mouth shut for a while, hasn't it? Keep talking.
Well, hang on. One question I've got though, Nick. Okay, one question I've got
Far
for you.
away.
No, it's a sensible question.
No, far away.
I always have sensible
It
questions.
ain't fucking sensible, I'll tell you
It is a
that now.
sensible
If it's
question.
coming out of his mouth,
Nick,
it's
how long
not
have
it.
you known me, mate?
Quite a long time. Must be about 12 years.
Yeah, I'm fairly sensible, aren't I?
Yeah, I've always considered you. You've always been a guiding light.
You're a nice guy, aren't you, really, Lee? Like, you're not. You don't say bad about anyone, do you? Well, knock about with me a bit more. You'll soon change that.
I do want to find bad people, but I'm certainly not in bad people in the company tonight.
No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Quality
Yeah,
people.
question for you. Okay, so we look at the style of me. I've got my boot camp stuff on. I've just come from boot camp, Nick.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, pretty stylish. Aaron's got his. What have you got on?
What?
What have you got on?
But
What
he's
have I got?
wearing what you'd expect when you're talking at world.
No,
Do you know what
wrestling
this is,
champion.
Nick?
Forgive me, I don't.
Okay.
No, but I mean, he dresses of what he is, Eddie. I mean, this ain't just some.
You're telling me he dresses as what he is, mate.
You're
You're right there.
He ain't just some yo-yo that goes down the gym, and drives a Golf GTI. I mean, this is the real deal. This geezer.
Bless you,
Yeah,
bless your heart.
his t-shirt is.
Anyway, to let you know, this is Cobra Kai, mate.
Is it?
You should look into it. It's on Netflix right now, Cobra Kai. You remember the
Are you on?
Karate Kid?
Are you on?
Yeah, the Karate Kid.
The original Karate
Yeah,
Kid.
yeah.
Well, there, look, the Karate Kid. It's basically a follow-on to the very first Karate Kid.
Oh,
it's
really?
like 34 years later with all the original cast and everything. And they've turned it into a series, and it's awesome.
My good lady'd know all about that. She's a complete film lunatic.
So am I. So I'll probably get on with your lady very well then. I'm addicted to Cobra Kai.
Are you on a sponsor for Netflix then, or what?
No, but I might as well be.
So anyway, where I was going
We're all
with this
going to
was,
earn, aren't we? It's a job.
where I was going with this, Nick, is obviously we're looking at me and Aaron. Obviously, we're fairly stylish, but fucking camera's gone again.
I trust that camera's a bad idea, mate. We're not doing too well tonight, are we?
Nick, you have got the look, mate, haven't you? Every time I see her, it's like, wow. You are one cool dude when it comes to that look.
Thank you for saying that, Andy. I mean, I am what I am, man. That's it.
Awesome.
That'd be a good song, that would.
This is what I am. It's already been done.
All right.
Has it?
Yeah. Move on.
Is that your favourite song?
We're in a copyright territory now.
Yeah, okay, fair play. You know what though? When I first met you, I thought straight away, Kid Rock's in my home. Wow, like you got that sort of look about you. Do you like Kid Rock?
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah,
He's awesome, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh mate, I love Kid Rock. You know what I mean?
Well, the whole American rock thing for me, man, it kicks.
It does,
Nobody
doesn't it?
does it like the Americans.
They don't, do they?
No,
They don't,
I'm
mate.
afraid to say they don't. I mean, the legendary stuff that this country has produced, but I mean, the band of today for me are the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
And
they're good.
They are a rock band.
Yeah.
And Grohl is a serious rock star.
Yeah, I mean,
He dresses fucking terrible, Dave Grohl.
Oh, does he?
Oh yeah, he wears lumberjack shirts and all this kind of stuff.
See, I like that sort of stuff.
So does Aaron.
Yeah, but when
you
you're
haven't seen
Dave
my
Grohl,
wardrobe.
you've got to question that, ain't you? Really, I don't know. I'm more the Steve Tyler kind of, that kind of thing.
I love Steve Tyler as well.
Definitely.
Aerosmith.
Fantastic
Wow.
band. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, the one band that I would dearly like to photograph, and I haven't done that.
But you've done so many. I mean, like I said, not just Amy Winehouse.
Yeah,
I noticed you
we had
photographed her.
A nice little chat, me and Amy. We did about the moon.
Wow. I mean,
Would
she
you
made it
believe?
massive, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Such
Yeah,
a
she
shame.
did.
Such a shame what happened.
Yeah, she was quite nice actually. Quite nice.
Yeah.
she was. We
Very
didn't
humble.
spend much time chatting, but we did have a chat. Yeah.
Yeah. And Iggy Pop.
Yeah, Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shot Iggy for Planet Rock.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
At
ZZ
Sonisphere.
Top.
ZZ Top. Oh, fantastic. High Voltage Festival.
Mate, I envy you
London.
big time. Yeah.
They're one of my all-time favourite bands, ZZ Top.
Is it really?
Oh,
yeah.
man.
They are good, aren't they?
Oh, God almighty.
And one I have got to mention here is Nickelback.
Nickelback, that was quite a special one actually. That there's a long story attached to that, but I can abbreviate it if you want.
Yeah, go
please
for
do.
Well, bottom line was we were coming to Norfolk for a holiday, and I'd never worked for this record company before. Nickelback were coming into the country to do 3 nights at the Shepherd Bush Empire, the week during which we were on holiday, and this record label got in touch, wanted me to shoot Nickelback when they came in. They were releasing the single Photograph off their new album, and I forget which album it was, forgive me. And cut a long story short, I thought, shit, you know, what am I going to do? You know, I'm not going to say no to this, not at all. So what we did, we literally created everything up, flight cases, took it on holiday with us, then drove from the holiday, which was in Norfolk, all the way to Shepherd's Bush Empire to do the gig, do the show, and then we came back. And then I had to we were shooting film at that time, way before digital, because I was quite late coming to the digi kind of revolution. And I had to then shoot over to this little place called Melton Constable in North Norfolk, because it was the nearest place that had got the post office there. And then, as it happened, I ended up living there for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, sometime after the Nickelback show. And drove home in one of the worst fogs ever, because Norfolk produces fog like you never know.
You know, I bet we could be on here for hours. You must have so many different stories to tell of all the different like concerts you've been to, and obviously worked with all these top stars. I mean, we've only mentioned a few, and they've been massive. The list goes on, mate. But you must have so many stories. You know.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's quite a few. I mean, you know what? When I do a lot of interviews, a lot of TV and radio and stuff, you know, and people always ask, you know, who was the worst guy to work for and all this kind of stuff, you know. I never give away bad things about these people, but in all fairness, there is very little bad to say about any of the people that I've ever worked with, spent time
And that's
with.
nice. That's good.
They're top people.
Yeah,
They're top
sure.
people.
Okay, like
Well,
so.
that's going to change now you've met Aaron.
yeah.
Now
We'll
you
get
know
that out of
Aaron,
you by the end of the night.
Yeah.
But no, okay. With your experience and the amount of years that you've been doing what you've been doing, if someone said to you, what is the best story, the most memorable story that you've got to tell, what would it be?
I think the one that moved me more than anything, there was a couple, Robert Plant.
Right.
Robert Plant by a long way. God, literally. You know, and when I first saw him and met him, everything started to tingle. You know how it is when you see one of those type of people.
Yeah.
Because Led Zeppelin was such a big part of my upbringing. You know, they obviously were one of the bands that kind of moved me into the real rock world.
Led Zeppelin, mate.
You know, and it was all going off, you know, Zep 2, Zep 3, you know, the big ones, Whole Lot of Love, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a bit fierce, you know, to actually stand even close to the guy. Fuck me, it's Robert Plant.
Yeah, man.
It's
Starstruck.
Robert fucking Plant.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know, and I don't do the fan bollocks because, you know, it's not very well accepted in this kind of genre. You know, it's a different kind of gig. Although I do collect picks off a lot of these guys, which is a bit of I've got this pick wall in the kitchen at home with all the picks on and drumsticks and all this shit, you know, memorabilia. Because, you know, it's pretty good. But, I mean, it was a great time that I spent with the Blockheads. Because, again, Ian Dury, the Blockheads, fearsome band. Absolutely fearsome band.
Legendary.
Oh,
wow.
Totally. You know, and
Amazing.
I spent a lot of time with the Blockheads and Mick Gallagher, you know, keyboard player from the Blocks. But it was just, you know, hang on a minute, you know, this is the Blockhead. You're working with the fucking Blockheads.
Yeah.
You know, and I shot a lot of promo stuff for them, album covers for them. You know, we spent a lot of time and also learnt a lot about the legend that was Ian Dury. You know, and although he is, you know, considered one of the greatest songwriters this country's ever produced, although he's slightly under the radar, I think, in a kind of household manner.
Yeah.
But the guy was, you know, just so special, so off the wall. So, you know, and the stories that you kind of heard, you know, kind of just reinforced of how they come to be the force that they were.
Wow.
But, you know, I don't share this view that it was Ian Dury and the Blockheads. I think, to be honest, from a craft point of view, the craft of producing music, the Blockheads were really a separate item. You know, Drew, he did a lot of the writing along with Jazz Jankel and, Johnny Turnbull. But really, the band, the Blockheads, are just an awesome outfit. Absolutely awesome. I caught up with them actually in Norwich just before Christmas. They do a gig here every year at the Arts Centre.
Yeah.
And we had an invite along from Mick, and me and my partner went along, and it was great to see the guys, again, but they are still a phenomenal outfit.
Yeah.
They really are. Although they're quite old, the guys now, which is a bit of a bark, but
Yeah.
That happens to us all, doesn't it?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Old age, you can't see any future in it, can you?
No, mate, not at all. No, not the
at
Mountain
all.
anyway.
No. It's a shame. But, I mean, wow. Absolutely wow. But it seems to me as well, I mean, I remember when I was a kid growing up and all that, like you say, Metallica were big and, like, Nickelback were just crawling in, and all these other rock bands like Def Leppard and that, they're 80s, aren't they? Right, 80s going into 90s and that. You know what I mean? The rock scene seems so much bigger back then to what it is today.
Oh, it was.
You know what I mean? It doesn't seem as successful at what it once was.
Well, I think essentially you've taken away a lot of the major kind of involvement, as in major record labels. Now it's all gone online. And I think, to be honest, Aaron, with this COVID thing, you've seen how we will say the new music scene may work, Facebook Live and all this kind of stuff, which I think in one respect is a very good thing.
Yeah.
That it allows people to get out there what they do. And I think a lot of people that deserve exposure have had a lot more exposure since the COVID thing.
Right.
I look at COVID as being, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So somebody will get something out of it, other people will lose out of it. I don't really buy into the fact that the music business is over. I don't totally agree with that at all. I think it's a long, long way from being over.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever be over, will it? It's just
I don't think so.
just changes direction.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
It just becomes a different medium in
You
the
know
way that it's
what?
presented.
Totally.
I had this conversation a couple of weeks back because I have so many different conversations about so many different things. But like this old,
Careful.
No, I'm just saying. But this old like downloadable things today, it's just so easy to access. Where, mate, I used to love going into a CD shop, buying a record or CD
nothing
or
like it,
tape,
mate.
and
Nothing like it.
having a proper labelled album to take home, and you own that. Where
I've
now,
got a confession.
hey,
I've got a confession.
what?
You still got them?
No,
No?
What?
I've never bought a new album.
You've
or
never bought a new album?
record.
You've been his usual self, mate. Just ignore him. Like, talk to me.
What can you say to that?
It's just. I'm sorry. I was. It must have passed me by. Not that I didn't like bands, more. Perhaps I was just too tight.
Yeah,
Do you
maybe.
think?
Possibly.
Do you think you need to kind of admit to that, literally on air?
Oh, mate,
As
he'll make
it's-
himself
yeah, it's
look like a
gonna be
right
filmed.
trollop.
I don't know. I mean, as a youngster, obviously, I think youngsters either they did the music or I just did my sport. I was just interested in my
No,
sport.
I can relate to that.
So I just did my sport. So that was just in my head when I was a youngster. So it wasn't that I didn't like music, and I love.
And in all
80s
fairness
music.
to you, you've
Yeah,
carried
yeah.
it on now into your, what you are now, aren't you? I mean, you're very fit, aren't you? You own your own boot camps and...
He's after me. He's after
I'm
me.
plugging him, but he deserves a plug.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He's a bit of a twat, like, but he does deserve a plug
He
now
speaks
and
only
again.
you.
Does he?
But not that
I do him behind his back, but but no,
No, I agree.
Keep yourself
I
up
agree.
there. Yeah, definitely
agree.
probably fitter than I am at the minute.
No,
I'm
not at
a
all,
so-called
not at all.
champion, like.
But you've not. I mean, obviously, you've not just photographed rock bands and stuff like that. I mean, I saw recently you did the Hairy Bikers, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did the bikers, yeah. Yeah, Dave and Si, top men.
Were they?
Top couple of guys, yeah. So professional, it's untrue. Really, really, ever so slick, ever so professional. It is a class unit that they've got. And they're really nice guys. Anything you wanted them to do, they would do. And usually with people like that, you're restricted very much on time. It could be down to something like about 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
That time. In some cases, even less than that. You know, I mean, when I did Al Murray, I'd got half hour. That was it. No more. And they pulled him out after half hour. Although Al Murray was a really, really nice guy, top man, but he knew exactly what he was doing, you know, and in respect to directing him and the rest of it, plus the fact that we kind of hit it and we had a report straight away. But they pulled him out literally after half hour.
Yeah.
You know, which is a bit of a bark because, you know, you're just kind of getting into this kind of thing. You know, it's gelling, and it's very important when you got that kind of one-to-one. You got to kind of get in. It's a chemistry thing. It really is. You know, and if you haven't got that, it really don't work. You know, not for me anyway. From an artistic point of view.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always after something that is totally different. Totally different. For me, it's about moving the line. You know.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Aaron? What he said at the start? They were really professional.
Yeah. I did. Why? What do you expect me to say from that?
I'm just dropping that in there.
Okay, I'm not professional enough. Is that what you're trying to say?
But now, you know, to be fair to Aaron, he's. Yeah. Did you know, Nick, that Aaron is the undisputed double IPW heavyweight champion?
First ever.
I did.
First ever. And I heard on the grapevine that apparently you're going to challenge him. Is that right?
Really? Fucking grapevine was that?
Something's been written about
anybody
it.
who works for me.
So he's even brought his belts along.
No, I know.
He wanted to show you his belts tonight.
I'll tell you what. Well, the thing is, look at that. Have a feel of that, Nick. That's just one of them.
Yeah, no, just the belt though, Nick.
It's a fantastic game. It really is. I'm going to have to put my mic down.
Yeah, have a look, mate. Yeah.
I'll hold the mic for you.
I mean, it's wonderful, isn't it? An accolade like that is some serious stuff. It
Yeah,
really
to
is.
be fair, it's the best achievement I've had in wrestling so far. I'm probably towards the end of my career in wrestling, if I'm being honest.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Never say never.
No, I know. I'm 35 years old, but you know, I think
you're really old, mate, aren't you?
No, I'm not old, but it's one of them sports. You know, your 20s.
You got
you
to
know
sell
what I'm
by
saying.
it, yeah.
Yeah,
Mind
definitely.
you checked out this new Mike Tyson promo.
Hey, you know what I mean? It looks good, doesn't
Well,
it?
exactly. So there's no excuse, mate. Just
Oh, no,
yeah.
I've
Just
been
keep going with it.
I've been professional now for nearly 18 years.
Have you?
Nearly 18 years.
Oh, wrestling. Professional, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I just think I'll take over in it, you know, see what happens and that. I've got some good contacts, you know, and a few good things in the pipeline, which I don't really want to say yet.
No.
But, you know, yeah, and that's the other one. I feel that. But,
Yeah, lovely.
It's a good job that people can see what's going on here, because here's the other one. Have a feel like that.
Yeah. I've got to get the trophy in a minute as well.
Yeah, that one's a bit more hairy than the other one.
But,
they're wonderful, man.
thank you.
They're
Brilliant.
wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Absolutely wonderful.
That's 10 titles to my name so far.
The bit about all that I like is the world. That's the bit that I like.
Yeah, it's
You
an
know,
honour. It's an honour.
There ain't nobody else.
It's an honour. You know, wrestling is great. You know, and to have them, it's a massive honour. So yeah, I'm happy now. You know what I mean? If I go on to other things than that now, which I possibly might well be doing soon, and yeah, I'm quite happily with the career I've had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Should be proud,
definitely.
mate. Should be proud.
Thank you. Yeah.
Get
It's
to
been
the
good
top.
fun.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, good fun.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, obviously, Aaron had his. You came along to the outdoor cinema,
Yeah, I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah.
To watch.
Which I've got to say, as I said on the night, you know, a massive honour that this guy Aaron Sharp did the thing, really, because obviously a massively difficult, awkward time.
Yeah.
But you know, you made a fantastic job of it. I loved it. I really enjoyed every minute of it, and it was captivating viewing. Which people who know me very well will know that I'm very, very hard to please. I give all films, TV, everything 20 minutes. If it don't do it in 20 minutes, it's off. But that was top draw. It really was top draw.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no, that means a lot. It really does mean a lot.
Well,
you know?
as I said on the night, for me, I think it was a fantastic achievement that you'd even stepped in front of a camera to do it.
Thank you.
And I can relate to some of the bits that, and then we spoke off mic, haven't we? About this. But no, wonderful, man. I can't praise you enough.
Oh, thank you.
I cannot praise you
so
enough.
much. Yeah, no.
Well, we did have a good response. I mean,
we've had a great response.
I mean, just tell me a couple of the stories of people that came up to you. If you,
like the one that sticks out to me the most that night. There was this woman, never seen her before in my life, never met her, didn't know who she was. She turned up to the screening.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, she literally parked her car. She got out of the car, left the engine running.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's hard for me to tell, to be honest with you, because it wells me up a bit. But she came out, and she came up to me and she said, "I just want to say thank you. You don't know who I am, blah blah blah." And she said her husband committed suicide last year, and the tears in her eyes welling up, and she just really praising me to stepping forward and things like that. And like when that faces your head on, it's one of them things where, don't get me wrong, the whole journey being filmed and everything, in the back of my mind, I thought, what's people going to think of this? You know what I mean? I wasn't in the best frame of mind, as you've seen at the start of the documentary. I mean, I looked ill, let's face it. I was mentally ill. And, when she came to me and said that, I thought, you know what? Like I've said all along, if I can just change one person's life or give one person hope and like get the reaction that woman gave me that night, then I'm just happy with it already. So wherever it goes from here,
Job done, innit?
Yeah, job done.
Tick 'em
You know
off.
what I mean? Anything else now is just a bonus.
I totally agree.
Andy caught some amazing moments. You know what I mean? I just let him get on with the filming. He was filming me and following me around and this and that, and he was asking me questions here and there. I was as honest as I could be.
Yeah.
I didn't pull any punches, and it was raw as they come. It wasn't always easy to be filmed, as you've seen. There's a moment I broke down in being filmed, and that was a hard question to answer. But we're getting a very good response. Got no end of people after the DVDs when they come out, and people's been downloading it on Vimeo.
Vimeo.
And it's doing all right. I'm happy with it. I really am happy with it.
Really was a top night. I really enjoyed it.
It's just nice to touch people, really, and for me, that's what we said at the end. That's why I said I hope it gets people thinking. Coming to terms with what difficulties they may have and coming forward and getting help. Really, that's really important.
Anybody can suffer, and it doesn't matter who you are.
God, yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I'm a wrestling undisputed champion. A lot of youngsters and a lot of even adults look up to me, and like yourself, you've been in the position you've been in, and we've had a chat, haven't we?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and you know what it's like to be right on the last,
yes, I do.
more or less at the very bottom step. I always say the last step is the hard one. You know what I mean? I don't even want to talk about it.
No, that's not.
But you know what I'm saying.
No, I'm there, man. Yeah,
You've been there.
We have spoken about it,
and I've said this all along with yourself. With some of the stories you've told me, and it always seems to be. And I will say this because I'm a massive reader of all these inspirational people, sports athletes, or whatever it might be. It always seems to be the people that suffered a lot of trauma or some form of deep trauma that end up with the best stories.
It's the
most
creatives, mate. It's the
inspirational.
creatives, mate. I really have this theory that the wider your spectrum of emotions, from really, really low to really, really high, I think you're more likely to suffer, and especially if you're a creative, then you have to be almost made up that way.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I think it's because, well, certainly from a personal point of view, the kind of fluctuation of where my mind lies is a strange place. It always has been. It always has been. I mean, I don't understand it. I even struggle to convey that to somebody else, you know, about how I look at things and life and the rest of it, so I can relate to all that. But for me, something that I say a lot is, from all tragedy comes great art.
It does.
You know?
I hope you don't mind me asking you this, especially
Not at
while
all.
we're doing this. But I mean, you've tasted, in my eyes. I mean, my mum's done the same. You've tasted the most horrific trauma you can. I mean, you've lost a child, right?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me saying.
No.
My mum was the exact same with my sister. I lost my sister at a young age, and I just remember my mum's reaction and that, and and to go through that, and to somehow find a way to keep going forward. It tells a lot in somebody's inner strength. I mean, how do you do it? I mean,
Well, I think, forgive me for saying so.
No.
I mean, the children thing is one thing, but I think loss generally, that's what it's about.
yeah,
Certainly my life changed 28 years ago when I lost my poor mum. That was the start of it all, when it all started to kind of domino effect. But it's loss as a whole. Forgive me for saying so.
Of course.
That's how I look at it.
it makes sense.
It's not any one particular thing.
Yeah,
I'm a guy that don't really like change. I like things that are solid and very down to earth. And I'm very OCD.
Yeah.
So I like everything in its place at its time.
yeah,
And if that hasn't the case, I struggle to create. But in saying that, that multiple loss that I faced has brought me to the place where I am now.
yeah,
And to be honest, for that reason alone, I am incredibly thankful.
yeah.
Incredibly thankful.
I understand straight away what you mean.
Although you could sit here and talk about this kind of stuff all night,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, sorry if I'm waffling on.
No, go.
For me, it's always been about making a mark,
Yeah,
making a difference, changing things.
Yeah.
That's what it's been about.
which, while we're on the subject, when you talk about art, you have recently gone into more the dark art. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Conceptual dark art, I call it.
exactly. But there's a reason why you've gone down that path.
Yeah, there is.
I'm right, aren't I? So, obviously, with what you have gone through in life, from the loss of your mother to a child to losing your wife, either way, it's loss after loss after loss, and it's creating this sort of character, if you don't mind me saying. But you're putting it into a profession,
Yes.
in a weird kind of way. It's
I'm speaking through what I do, Aaron. That's what I'm doing. I've always been quite vocal. I have very strong views, which are all passionate driven, all of them. I believe in right and wrong. That's it. There's no
Yeah.
middle of the ground.
No.
There has to be right or wrong.
Yeah.
And I believe very much in that. But the kind of collection of these things that brought me to the point of where I am now, and I kind of describe my point in life as my Ziggy years, which is basically you kind of use Bowie as the analogy. When Bowie killed off Ziggy Stardust, Bowie then became the real artist that he is now adored for being.
Yeah.
And I'm in that kind of place. Basically, it's all the emotions that I've lived through in the past 3 years, but not totally true to 3 years, 28 since I lost my mum, which is really was the start of the whole thing. It's been a catalogue that has built up over that 28 years. 3 years ago, marriage went down the Huey. And that was the final piece of the puzzle that needed to go together. And from then I just created what the fuck I wanted to do. That was it. And I've gone to really dark places, seriously dark places. I mean, Andy he's seen a bit of a preview of some of the images, haven't you?
I haven't. Yeah.
And that's only touching on it. I mean, I've explored really very dark areas even in society, sexuality, emotion, love, death, passion, the whole 9 yards. And what I've done, I've created this body of work that is basically built on emotions that you feel or I feel as a person. This is not something that I'm trying to say, well, you felt it, you should have felt it. It's not that at all. It's a very personal thing, very personal thing. And then on that emotion, I've created an image that dictates that emotion visually. And that's what it is.
Can't wait to see him. I really can't wait to see him.
Well, you might get to see it, because obviously we're doing another documentary.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
What's the documentary called, Nick?
The story so far.
The Story So Far.
I like that so far.
The story so far.
It's never ending,
So-
is it?
Well, there's more. There hopefully be more to tell, and it'll until the co-op bang on my door, really, Aaron.
Yeah,
you know.
Wow.
So it's gonna, all that thing is gonna come to fruition then, isn't it? In terms of letting people know what that's about.
It will be exposed very much through the documentary. I'm going to release this. It was due for release April this year, right across the world into the very high-end art market. But the COVID thing kind of put a big stop on that. So we iced it, you know, and hopefully it will start towards the end of this year, or it will be the early part of next year. But there's books that will be on the back of that. I'm still doing them. The next one is definitely a little bit over the line. But to be honest, one thing that I'd kind of come to realise, and which was the catalyst of all this, and the real key to the door, is I stopped caring. And when I say that, I stopped caring, worrying about what I should be shooting. Now I shoot, if I get something in my head and it's working and it's clicking and it's going, I shoot the bastard.
You know what? It's, if you don't mind me saying, it's amazing to listen to you, because just listening to you can feel the passion in you. You know what I mean? I mean, like
Thank you, mate.
No, I mean it. It's like me with my wrestling and things like that. People don't understand why you do certain things you do, whether it's bodybuilding, wrestling, whatever, and you don't understand that inside your head. It's such a passion. I can't relate to art like what you can, but I can listen to you and think he's got the same mindset as what I've got for what I do, for what he does, and I can really relate to that. And that's
the only mindset for whether it's you or me. It's the only mindset you've got to have.
Yeah,
It's feeling free to what you want to do, isn't it?
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And that's what people, you know, if people are listening to this, which I hope they are, that's the message we want to put out here.
That is the whole message.
Is do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, as long as no one's hurt and all the rest of it, just do what you feel passionate about.
Of course, do what makes you happy. We
Exactly.
get one crack at this life, one crack.
Yeah.
Just
Unfortunately, I'd left it very late to realise that.
Yeah.
Well, not late, but, you know, I was in my mid-40s before I started doing that.
I don't think you ever stop thinking further ahead. Like I wanted to wrestle. I've wrestled and this and that, and my mind's still going, what can I do next? There's always something. What's next?
Oh, yeah.
But that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Keeps you busy, though.
If you're satisfied, it's time to hold it all up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
sit and, you know, put a blanket over your legs and buy a copy of People's Friend. Yeah. You know, it's over. Good night, Vienna.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to do that, do
No,
we?
no.
Because, you know, like I say, doing what you're passionate about is what keeps you young and what
course.
keeps you active. And, I mean, we all hate when we get out of bed. I don't know about you, but I do. But it's...
Yeah, well, I mean, that's called old age, isn't it? Or getting old, getting age. You know, what is that about? You know,
It's not old age. It's extra experience.
is that what it is?
Extra experience.
That's a good way of
like
looking
a
at it.
Yeah. So when I'm, you know, when I have my birthday, mate, you know, say I'm 52 next. So when I say I'm 52, I say I'm 21 with 31 years experience.
That is a way of looking at
That
it.
is
isn't it?
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, mate, I'll tell you what, mate. Some of these between the 40s and 50s these days, even 60s, mate. Some of the people in the world and the friends I know, they're looking good for their age, mate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like,
Definitely.
some of these actors, you've only got to look at like Vin Diesel and Jason Statham. They're in the 50s and they're looking like dynamite,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
but
and
I
it's
would
like-
like Dynamite if I had their money and their
there's that as
you know,
well.
nutritionists and their extra help.
What? I'm not saying nothing on that matter.
Yeah.
But either way, you know, whatever, you know, they look good for their age, and fair play fair play to him.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a random question.
Go on.
Okay, it's random question time.
Random question, Clive.
Random question time. Okay, so the only reason I'm coming with this random question is because it was on the news this morning. And it was their 40th anniversary of the Metro. Do you remember the
what?
Austin Metro?
Was it really?
40, yeah.
Fantastic. I had one of them and crashed it big time.
Did you?
I did. I crashed the bastard big time.
So I had a Metro.
Nearly killed myself, actually.
You had a Metro.
Yeah.
Aaron, you probably didn't know what a Metro is.
What are you going on about?
British Leyland, small little 5-door hatchback it was.
What, a Rover Metro?
Rover Metro, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, I remember the
But they
Metros.
actually renamed it.
Okay.
It would become the Rover Metro.
Okay.
Basically because the sales slumped, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I think British Leyland get taken over?
I don't know. You like Leyland, because we were filming actually the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
We were filming near the prison. Yeah,
had a
yeah.
really
Nick was
weird
allowed
experience.
out for the day
Right.
Yeah.
at Norwich Prison.
release.
Yeah. 3 squares.
And he saw. What did you see? You saw a van. You thought it was the Leyland van, didn't you?
I saw a van that I thought was a Sherpa van,
That's right. Yeah,
a Leyland Sherpa.
yeah.
And they were one of the most ugliest vans on the bloody road. But my association with it really comes from my brother, because at that time my brother was spannering for a company called Marshalls. Other garages are available.
Yeah, I know Marshalls. Yeah,
In Peterborough.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of experience at that time. You know, I was racing motorcycles, my brother was racing cars.
Yeah.
You know, and my brother's always been a car man. You know, so it was one of those things. I thought, holy shit, you know, but it wasn't. It was. I don't know what it was. We couldn't seem to work out what it was, could we? But it wasn't a Leyland Sherpa,
Yeah.
which was a bit of a bark.
But those Metros, they were
And that's
They
40
were-
years.
40 years apparently.
Well, they used to rally them, you know, very successfully.
Yeah, did
World
they?
Rally Championships, yeah, yeah. Some of the top drivers drove for the Works Metro Leyland team, and they drove Metros, and they were up there with the Ford Escorts and the Audi Quattros and all the stuff.
Audi Quattro.
Yeah.
See, this is all beyond Aaron. You see, He
No,
was-
no, no, no,
yeah, but you weren't even a twinkle in your mum's eye, then, mate. Were you?
Yeah, no, I remember even when I passed my test, there was loads of lads my age buying Metros, Rover
Did you?
Metros and that. Yeah, little tiny boxes, like,
Yeah,
but, you know.
900,000 cc.
Yeah,
things
that's
they
right.
were.
My first car was a Peugeot 106, and that wasn't
That
even
was a good car.
Yeah, but that wasn't
was a
even a
good car.
1 litre. That was a 9.
958.
Yeah, that was
something
it.
like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, one of them 3-door,
Yeah. They were
little
good cars,
tiny
Well,
thing.
106, yeah.
Oh, it only had 4 gears.
What was your
Yeah.
first car, Nick?
My first car was a Ford Escort Mark 1, which I brought off my brother for
Yeah.
30 quid.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it got more holes in it than Newcastle's back 4.
Oh, did it?
And it just, when it rained, it just pissed in. It was terrible. Yeah. And you have to sit there with a brolly outside over the roof because all the bloody seals leak. It's a bugger.
Yeah, yeah. I had
Awesome.
you probably won't know. I had a Datsun. My first one was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Datsun 120A
Yeah.
F11 Coupe.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Aaron's got no idea. It was
Yeah.
yellow.
Yeah.
£200
I'm sure it was good.
I
Like,
think most Datsuns were yellow, weren't they?
Yeah, and God, they were rust buckets, weren't they?
But they were a bit green.
Mind, I suppose most cars were rust buckets. Then, like I say, the sills. It was all the sills that went. Always the sills.
Then they were, yeah, you were ever spannering on them, weren't you?
Yeah, we had
Forever doing
points then as well. Points. Is it
it. Yeah.
points?
Yeah,
that
we
they
had points on them, yeah.
See, he's
Yeah.
just gone over his head now.
Yeah.
Like you say.
yeah, it's gone a little bit too back for me. But you know what? Like,
Hey, we got to talk about subjects that one Nick wants to talk about. It's not all about you, mate, is it?
No, I'm
Well,
actually
yeah.
talking on your subject, actually. You know, but just going back in the past in general, the past is better than what we've got now.
Oh, totally.
100%.
Totally.
You know, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Nothing to look forward to but the
No.
past.
Yeah.
Do you
is
think
that-
so?
Yeah.
Ah, no. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question then. Okay, I ask this question to people. It's very interesting what the people say. I'm going to ask you a question and see what your answers are. So, okay, you've got a time machine. Okay, you're allowed to go forward or back.
Backwards, any day.
Totally.
100%.
Every day.
See, I
Who
would,
wants to go forward?
me.
Really?
I'm a forward thinker.
Look, go back 10 years and look how much the world has changed in the last 10 years. You want to go an extra further 10, 20 years?
Would you not want to go forward and see
No.
what things are going to be like?
No, I'd use
What a
I'd,
bloody mess it's going to be.
yeah. I'd rather go
Oh,
back.
you miserable pair of buggers.
No, mate,
No, I
no.
wouldn't do that.
We had lives before these digital crap things came out.
Says
You
him.
know
He's
what
always,
I mean?
Nicky's always on it.
And
No,
I
yeah,
hold my hands up, but I hate it.
Do you really?
No, mate, I hate 'em.
support it. I
you?
am a massive supporter of the World Wide Web, mobile phones, everything.
Are you really?
I am. The reason that one of the main reasons for that is it's your invisible friend. And if for argument's sake, you know, you've got like old people, you know, and God forbid they lose their husband or wife or whatever. You get them an iPad and they're totally connected to their family. You can FaceTime and the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a recent experience of that, of losing my poor dad 3 years ago. His partner, she was Canadian. She's gone back to Canada. And, you know, although she misses everything that she had here, which was an idyllic life with my dad for nearly 24 years, you know, it's the internet, mobile phones and technology has allowed her to still keep some hold on that rather than just a photograph album stuck in a corner on a unit.
No, okay, in all fairness, yeah. When it comes to things like that, then yeah, I agree 100%. That it is good for that, keeping in touch, keeping in contact, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Yeah, that is good for that.
Because again, this, forgive me for talking over you,
No,
but
you're fine.
you know, this for me
Please talk over him.
is
Please talk over him.
You're cramping me style, man. I've lost my track there. Fucking gone. It's fucking gone. No, I mean, you know, I couldn't do what I do from where I do it without the technology that you've now got. And I think that although I wasn't brought up in a family like this, but people are so quick to say, yeah, well, yeah, I haven't seen each other or I haven't heard much of you. Well, yeah, I've been busy. Or my favourite one that the English use, snowed under. Now, what the fuck is snowed under? You know, I've been that busy, I'm snowed under. Really? I don't think so. But, you know, but that, you know, pick the bloody phone up and speak to your friend or your mum or your dad, your brother and your sister, or, you know, your partner, your wife, and tell them you love them and you miss them.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
What does that cost?
Nothing.
What does it cost?
Nothing.
And it's in your pocket, and it don't matter a monkey's where these people live. You know, what a phenomena to think you can stand in the middle of a field and talk to somebody in Australia without any fucking problem.
It is mad, isn't it? When you think back. When you think
crazy.
back. It is.
Absolutely crazy.
Go back to Thunderbirds, Andy. You remember Thunderbirds?
I do, yeah.
Thunderbirds changed my life. Me and my brother as two little boys. But you know, Tracy Island. You now live on Tracy Island.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You do. You do.
It's crazy, but
Funny enough, that's what
It's fantastic.
that's Aaron's weekend name, Tracy.
Is it?
Tracy
girl?
Island.
that's a part of something about me personally that I didn't want to let out into my social media.
Don't
Thanks for
worry.
that.
We've got a lot in common. We can talk off mic.
But you're right. I mean, if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for the World Wide Web and the technology and what have you, there's no way on this earth I would have been able to afford to tell the stories in terms of the documentaries and things. Because
No
it
chance.
would have been out of my.
It's got, yeah.
Tonight, it's a total waste of time, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
it's three geezers sitting in a room, you know, and it's only those three geezers that will ever see it. Unless you have the World Wide Web.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
very
and,
true.
And the cost of being able to put something. I mean, you know, obviously there's equipment, but the cost of being able to do this is minimal, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
But
totally.
you know, 10, 15 years ago, it would cost you thousands.
I think the only problem, which whether we're talking this kind of production, whether we're talking radio or whatever, and to go back to things like the Facebook Live earlier on with the artists, you know, is that what you've now got is a complete sea of media, and the problem is now sorting out the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
And the big boys just controlling it all.
I think they do, but to be honest, again, to go on to the COVID thing, I think that it has kind of given people the opportunity to say, you know, well, look, let's take musicians. Yeah, I'm a fuck-off singer-songwriter. I mean, I'm working with an exceptionally good guy now, a guy called John Peach. Awesome. Absolutely fucking awesome songwriter. He really is.
Is this the guy you shared on your social media
That's
yesterday?
it.
Yeah.
He's from Yarmouth, John.
Yeah.
He's one of the nicest blokes you could ever meet.
Is he nicer than me?
I think marginally.
Easy.
Yeah,
Cheers, Nick.
marginally.
Thanks, mate. Right, you can fuck off now.
Yeah. Close this up.
Yeah, well, that was podcast. Nick's gone.
Good night. But it's that kind of thing has allowed John to really explore his music and also to get it out there for people to listen to it.
Yeah.
And like I say, the problem is sorting out the wheat from the chaff. It is, and there's a lot of chaff out there, which is what you've had with Facebook Live. You get some bit of bin who thinks she's silly Dion, and she can sing,
Silly Dion,
all that kind of stuff, doing it from her kitchen. Hang on a minute, I've got some in the oven, So she turns round in between breaths, to cook tea. It's a fucking nonsense.
Nick, what have you been watching?
Well, it's out there, man. It
Yeah.
is. Luckily enough, a lot of them have decided that it might not be a career move, and they've switched the bastard off.
Mind you saying that, that guy who's literally just wrote a song about the documentary
Well, I
of a
was
lion.
just coming on to that.
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
You tell the
No,
story. No. It's your gig, man.
So no, just listening to you then. Drake Leon Taylor, a musician, writes his own music, plays his own guitar. Everything's just wrote a song after watching Heart of a Lion. Actually wrote a song about it. Obviously got in touch and everything, and very talented guy, which you've heard.
Yep, I think it's a good track.
Yeah, it is a good track. Isn't it?
I think it's a complete honour to you. I really do.
Oh, mate, when he wrote that to me, I mean, the song's called Just a Man, which is going to be the name of my book that gets released next year.
Okay,
It was going to call it Weekend Tracy, but...
A week with Tracy, yeah.
Tracy Laverne.
Yeah, right, yeah. But no, I obviously heard him before on YouTube, then I looked him up on Spotify. He's got a couple of tracks on there.
Yeah.
And he's pretty decent. Yeah, really good.
That's a good track. It is a good track.
Really good track, yeah. So that's.
But again, you see people like that. It gives them the opportunity to just sit down, record something on the laptop or whatever in the bedroom, and next thing you know, he ships it over to you.
Yeah.
And you've got a connection. The whole thing's going on.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a really good track.
Yeah.
I think it's a massive honour to you. I really do.
Thank you.
And what's wrong with that? How are you going to knock that? The guy wouldn't have even got to know about Aaron at all.
No.
Without the internet.
It's good.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
And although everybody rubbishes Facebook, I've met my present partner on Facebook.
Have you
Gets my
really?
vote. Yeah.
Well, it's got its blessings then, hasn't it? Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play.
Not in the usual kind of online sense. It was a bit of an indirect kind of trip.
Yeah,
But, that's how it came about.
I met my new partner on Facebook.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is fucking wrong with that?
Yeah.
I can't understand people.
Yeah.
I think it's the English love to moan about things like that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
They do.
Well, Nick, it's come to the end, okay?
Really? It's flown by.
It's gone really quick, hasn't it?
It has.
That
Do
hour's
you know
gone.
what? It's been great to see it. It's always nice to see it. We always catch up anyway when we can, don't we?
Oh, God,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, so it's obviously Aaron met you for the first time the other day. Yeah, he's overwhelmed by meeting you, which is great.
I love the man. I think he's top drawer.
Yeah.
He really is.
Please don't.
It's an honour.
Please
It's an
don't
honour.
say that.
I tell it
You're
as
going to
it
upset
is.
me. I'm going to have
I
nightmares tonight because of that.
No, you won't.
I have nightmares,
No.
mate. I have
You'll-
nightmares.
No, you'll share a pillow.
But seriously, mate, it's been fantastic having you here. We appreciate you coming along and seeing us.
It's very kind of you both to invite me on, and I'd love to come back. It's been a blast. It really
100%, yeah.
100%,
Really
yeah.
been a blast.
I believe there's so much more we need to ask you. So, we'll definitely have you back.
Perhaps as the documentary goes along. So
Yeah. When
Yeah,
your
I'd love to.
documentary's finished, we'll have you back on. 100%.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so you have been listening to
Lion.
Unblind.